I mean, of course, it's defined like a lot about me because of like what has changed through like school and stuff. But I don't like. It's not like my opener. I'm not like, "Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm dyslexic." But like, yeah, great. What a conversation starter. No, but I think it's different in primary school because a lot of kids like they just like muck around the whole time, and like those kids like would have appeared the same as like they would have had similar results to what I had, but half the time I was like trying really hard, which is a bit depressing. We used to do this thing at school where like you didn't have homework if you finished all your work in class. If I got through a quarter of my homework in class and I couldn't do it, like they're just like, "Oh no, just bring it in tomorrow." And I'm like, "Yeah, great, I'll just bring it in tomorrow. I'll go to karate tonight and I'll pump out this work that took me an hour and a half and I did 4 sentences in like 20 minutes, like every other kid could." So some other kids would just not do anything in class and just do it at home.
So when they had the big tests, then he came back and said, "Charlie, you're dyslexic," and these things. It was a big time for me, really emotional, because I'm sat there, I'm meant to be thinking about him, but it's like somebody's made sense of my whole life. It's like I'm reading this and going, that's why I was put on that class, that's why I was beaten, that's why I was moved from school to school, that's why I couldn't do that stuff, that's why I was made redundant. It's like all my life's failures suddenly made sense to me. So one of the things is that I believed I was stupid, and I have done, before Charlie got to this point, I'd done lots of things. I'd been very successful in life, and so I knew I wasn't stupid, and I knew that there was something about school that wasn't easy for me. So reading Charlie's reports was like, oh God, I really am. I'm really not stupid. There really was a reason, and people didn't engage with it.
I mean, like, if I didn't have like that, like 10% of really, really good teachers, I probably would have like dropped out or something, because that was just so helpful for me, just to have someone who actually thought that I could do a good job if I tried, and thought that like, I had a teacher, I wanted to come back and do year 12 history, and I was talking to the teacher who took it, and I was like, "Do you think I'll pass?" And he's like, "Realistically, I don't think you'll do very well." And I was like, "So I shouldn't do it?" And he's like, "Oh, well, no, it's really nice having you in the class, and like you engage with it." So I'd be part of the discussions, I'd know what I was talking about, but like come exams and SACs and stuff, I would be awful at it.
So when Rainer did engage, Rainer, right the first time. Oh, it's the spelling, you get it wrong. So, when Rainer got it, it's kind of, he got it the whole time. And I remember for that last history thing, going along and saying, "Look, what's the point in Charlie doing history?" And him saying to me, "I really like him in the class." And then me going to Charlie, "What's the point in being?" He said, "I really like doing the class." And I suddenly went back and went, why am I hanging on to, there's a score here. We all know, I got no scores. I know I don't care whether he gets a score or not. The teacher's loving him having it there. Charlie's loving the engagement in history. Why am I hanging on to the score? It was a lovely moment. And actually he dropped it because, I might as well at least have a crack at a score. But,
no, the teacher changed.
No, the teacher changed. But, it was like really lovely to kind of go, oh, I missed it for a minute. I got caught up in the score.
I think because of this, I've become really good at stuff that a lot of other people struggle with. And I'm really good at like just talking to people. Like I can just like talk to anyone about anything pretty much. And I think I kind of thought people could just do that, but I've been realizing like the more that I go out and see other people and stuff, like that's not something people do. So that's kind of made me like, for me, that's more important than being able to, I'd rather be able to go up and talk to someone in the middle of nowhere and just say anything than be able to write and have really good handwriting and do it in a short amount of time. So I think in some ways I'm kind of really glad that like it turned out this way. And I think like the me in school kind of didn't realize that, because like that's all that happens. That's just all it is. It's just writing.
It's incredible to hear you, one, because you're really articulate about it, which is, impressive. No, it's impressive. And the second is that, when you say, I'm happy with it, I think to myself, God, I was 40, I think, when I thought, okay, I'm really where I am because of this. So I'm really happy with it. To have that at 19, that's a difference, isn't it? Wow, It's really exciting, really bloody exciting. I think the other things, Charlie, is that, you know, I don't know if you get how proud I am and how proud I am of who you've become. You know, what I see with lots of parents, particularly parents who are not dyslexic and may well have performed very well themselves, so they're very ordered and structured and read and do that kind of stuff. They want their kids to be there, and it's actually the worst thing. You know, the best thing is to go, oh my God, my child is creative, my child works outside the box, my child thinks differently, my child can actually engage socially in a way that I can't possibly. Crumbs, I've got a genius on my hands. How boring am I that I just did it like the rest of the 80% of the population? I'm blessed. Most parents don't think that. You know, they just don't. And actually, that's what you've got. You've got somebody who's more likely to be an entrepreneur, is more likely to lead, is more likely to change society. It will not be limited by the boxes, will not be limited by the rules. You are exceptionally lucky. Their school are going to hate them, everyone, all the systems are going to hate them, but one day they'll break free and they will change the world. Bless them. The best you can do as parents is get out their way and love them for whatever they do. You know, it's a tough message.
1 in 10 Victorians has a specific learning difficulty like dyslexia. Spelled Victoria works to remove barriers in education so every Victorian can reach their learning potential. For more information and free help, call 1800 051 533 or visit www.spelledvic.org.au.
Okay, so can we preface this by saying this is a bit wanky? I found recently, well not recently, it's 10 years ago now, my report, which is my last year, or age 10 years, 10-year-old report from primary school. It says place in the form, and it's got here 35th. But the bastard then underlined it and put out of 35. There's no place for that, but they just wanted to let everyone know I was bottom. 35 out of 35th. 35th out. I don't know. Anyway, last. So we hang it on the wall. Okay, that's how it is when you're at primary school. You're shit, you're 35 out of 35. Then I found my passion. I started doing things. I started working in some of the poorest parts of Great Britain. We were doing different and new innovative waves to poverty. I was recognised by the World Economic Forum as one of the leading social entrepreneurs in the world. And just before we left England, when Charlie was 2.5 to come out here, I was one of the youngest people to get an MBE for services to charity. So I don't know if anyone else frames their MBE, which is at the wanky bit. But I had the two together, partly to say, I don't fit in. I never fitted in. I was always a failure. I am stupid. That's what I was told. I believed it. But I was always also one of the youngest people to make a real difference to people in poverty. And so how do you just don't worry that it doesn't fit in. Just trust yourself.